In the Pacific Northwest, they're still opening them by the dozens. It's fucking crazy.
That's like an aberration if you look at like national numbers, and a lot of these companies were publicly traded, so you could actually look at the numbers where they peaked out with stores, where they are now with stores, and the ones that completely have like gone. I mean, I used to cover this sector on Wall Street. Okay, I mean, this is probably the heyday was the 90s, I guess, but everyone was opening like all sorts of different, things. Okay. And now you look at, there's like whole companies that are gone, Ruby Tuesdays. I don't know if there's any of those left, I mean, there's just so many of them that just disappeared,
Okay, I'm going to make a prediction and we could mark the tape. I'm going to guess that in the next 10 years, we're going to see shopping malls revived. And here's why. The anchor stores were going bankrupt. And I think what's going to happen is the anchor store model is going to come back, but they're going to utilize a subletting model, kind of like the way that Kohl's currently does with like Sephora, where they, okay, you've got your own brand, you can come in here and you can set up a shop within our location. And I think those big mega stores that were anchors that only sold their own shit, I think there's going to be entire floors dedicated to other brands that are subletting within those locations. I think that's going to be the future of actual retail. Some people think that retail's gone because of home delivery. I think it's going to actually have a resurgence with just a tweak.
Could be. Well, when you're talking about fast casuals, we're on the same page, because I may have even used the term incorrectly. We're talking about like a sit-down restaurant.
I'm thinking about Chipotle, where you go up to the counter, you order your food.
Got it. Okay, that's fast. You're correct. Fast casual. Okay, that's a little different than what I was thinking. Because most of the damage has been in the more sit-down casual, like at Applebee's, and more of an even fast casual. So you're probably right. Yep. Fast casual is still there.
There's a sushi restaurant near me where you order on a tablet. When you walk in, you go sit down, and the food gets brought out to you by robots. They don't take your order, and they don't deliver your food with human beings. And it's a pretty decent sushi restaurant.
Yeah, and there's one down here with it now. We have one that does the robot thing, and there's another one that has a conveyor, which I think is more common in Japan. They have like a conveyor belt thing, where there's like a conveyor belt.
Yeah, those are the old sushi boat model. Yep.
Yeah.
I don't think Mike would like sushi. Mike, are you a sushi guy?
No, I've never had a sushi. I've never had a Chipotle. I've never had a mango.
Are you a steak and potatoes guy? If I were to come over and hang out with Mike, we're eating steak and potatoes?
No, I'll do steak and potatoes, but
I forgot you're Italian, and we're probably going to get some lasagna with some fresh manigout, right?
I'd probably make a carbonara or a linguine clam.
Oh, dude, I just had a carbonara. You're going to hate me, from Olive Garden, and it was chicken and shrimp. And I will say, it was actually not bad for Olive Garden.
How the hell do you make a carbonara out of chicken and shrimp?
Well, the carbonara sauce was made out of the whatever that pork is that they put in the sauce. But you made the carbonara sauce, and then they just added chicken and shrimp. What's the meat that you put in there? In the sauce? It's like
I think you're supposed to use like fucking guanciale or some shit.
Yeah. No, most of the places that I've seen on the menu, it's an Italian pork that's basically all fat, kind of like bacon, but they'll always use some Italian name for it. But it's just basically like pork fat.
Yeah, no, I just meant like in the home, like if you're making carbonara, once a week, you're probably using bacon.
Yeah, that's probably right. When you eat sandwiches, do you do oil and vinegar, or do you put mayo on your sandwiches?
I like mayo. I'm a mayo guy.
Damn. What do your Italian friends think of that?
I don't really have any Italian friends. I live in the Midwest.
On a related note, maybe this is too off subject, but there was an article I saw today of the most boring cities in America. I was really surprised, and the relation to the topic is just being on the culinary scene. Those cities that had terrible dining were considered the most boring. I know you guys are in suspense, so I'll tell you, Jacksonville is the most boring city in America. Jacksonville, Florida.
Jacksonville, Florida? I would think there'd be good-looking women there.
Exactly. There's no city in Florida that should be so fucking boring. Columbus, Ohio was also highly ranked. Columbus, there's some really fine-looking gals at Ohio State. I mean, it's like the biggest college city in the world. I can't imagine it's that boring. I went there. Wasn't that boring?
Yeah, that was boring.
All right, back to the topic. My fault.
No, I will. That. Feel free to jump in with those kind of comments anytime.
Hey, Mike, I got a question. You know, I'm not Italian, but I grew up with a bazillion Italians in New York. You know, even my next door neighbors were Italian. So I'm pretty familiar with Italian food, and whether it was in New York or even when I went to California, mayonnaise is not something I've seen on Italian cuisine, except for maybe like Subway type of like heroes, like submarine like sandwiches, you know, capicola with some cheese and then somebody puts mayo on it or whatever. Okay, but generally mayo, it doesn't show up.
Yeah, no, I agree. I wasn't talking about Italian stuff, right? I said like sandwiches in general.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, my wife makes a beautiful sandwich and she put mayonnaise. Isn't it crazy how a sandwich always tastes better if your wife makes it?
Yeah. They'll call me a misogynist when I make this point, but I'm glad you said it.
Burritos too. Like I think shit like that, like any food that's like contained, right? Like a sandwich is contained between two pieces of bread, a burrito or a taco. I always fucking overfill my fucking sandwiches and my burritos, and the portions are all fucked up. My wife is like, temperate. What am I looking for? Temperate. I don't know the word I'm looking for. She's judicious enough to put the proper. Yeah, she's tempered enough to put the proper amount of shit in a sandwich or a burrito. They're always better than you.
But let me ask you this: as good as she might be at making that, if you were to barbecue and go out and get on the grill, would you trust her to make anything up?
No, and she can cook dinner. I'm not saying her cooking is not bad. It just leaves it's not. If company's coming, she's not.
Self-control is liberty.
I have a friend. It's kind of funny to me. I have a friend who used to love to go to Hooters because he thought the food was exceptional, particularly the wings. I think the food is okay. I wasn't going to Hooters for the wings. I was like most young men. What do you guys think of Hooters as a culinary specialty?
I used to live right down the street from a Hooters in Dublin, California, and they had a great happy hour where I could get top shelf martinis, vodka martinis. So I'm using like Grey Goose or Belvedere or something in these martinis, and I'm getting $5. $5 top shelf martini, like you can't beat that. And so I can't tell you if the wings were made good or not. All I can tell you is that I drank inexpensive.
And by the way, consistent with what I was talking about, just whether it's casual, fast casual, maybe Hooters is probably considered casual, not fast casual. Hooters filed bankruptcy in March, and they've closed tons of locations. Okay, I mean, you know, it's a very difficult time. You know, for a lot of people in the restaurant industry, you got rising commodity costs. Um, you know, and